everyone, and welcome once again to another edition of Paul's Cinema Picks. And I'm your host, Paul Westbrook, and today we're going to be doing movies that deal with something that's been going on in the world right now, which is the coronavirus. And I know a lot of people have been in their homes trying to deal with this and the issues that have been going on, a lot of cancellations, people remaining in their homes under quarantine and lockdowns and stuff. So our movies that we're talking about today deal with this particular subject. Oh, and just before everybody is wondering, I've got my extra supplies. I've got water. Yes, I have my water to drink. And yes, I even have my supply of toilet paper. Because everyone wants toilet paper nowadays, so I figure why not? We got our toilet paper here, so I guess we're good for the lockdown in case there's a possible lockdown. But when you're sitting here by yourself and you want something to watch, I've got some movies here that might be to your liking, especially around this time that we're dealing with. So let's get to it. The first movie is a movie called Contagion. You can see that there, sis?
Yep.
Okay, the movie Contagion. And it has an all-star cast. You have Marion Cotillard, Matt Damon, Lawrence Fishburne. You have Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Kate Winslet. Now this movie here, which, believe it or not, was made in 2011, deals with a virus that has been affecting the entire world. It was unleashed, and it's very prophetic because it's similar to what's going on right now. And basically what it is, like a lethal virus that comes from traveling. And in this case here, it was from a bat, I believe, or some animal. And then it basically can wipe out all humankind. And it starts off from one person, like coming back, and then traveling to the next person, and the next person, and so on. And as you go along, the people in the movie are affected by this horrendous virus, and they get all the medical teams, everybody together to try and deal with this and try to contain it as best as possible. And there's an extra on this DVD which talks about how a virus changes the world. So it shows you how the virus actually works when it first comes into contact with the first person, and then how the next person tends to get it, and then so on and so forth in a very eerie pattern. And yes, this movie will keep you on the edge of your seat. It'll make you think at the same time, because that's what we want to do. We want to think about stuff. It's a movie that you can be entertained by it, but at the same time, you really have to think about how viruses actually affect our world today. And it's some very serious stuff, so yeah, check it out. Second one here is called Perfect Sense. And it stars Ewan McGregor and Eva Green. And I haven't really seen this one yet, but I did pick it up at a dollar store for about $2. But again, it deals with a viral epidemic, and it's sweeping across the globe, which a lot of these movies have that particularly same theme. And of course, the victims losing all their senses, and then these two people meet, and they actually fall in love while this whole global epidemic is occurring. And yeah, a lot of these movies, like I said, you find that they have this particular pattern. These two people, they have to deal with the viral epidemic and the outbreak and how to deal with it. And it's very similar to Contagion. I think that's why I actually bought it, because Contagion was the movie that was in the mainstream theaters. This one was sort of like, I think it was played in underground cinemas, but it was also on TV. But it's actually a good companion piece to go with Contagion. So another movie you want to check out. The third movie here is called Carriers. And you have Chris Pine. You might know him as Captain Kirk in the new Star Trek movies. And Piper Perabo and Emily Van Camp and Lou Taylor Pucci. I don't think I've really seen them, but it's more of the viral outbreak for the young teen set. Because a lot of these guys are just the younger adults here. But I'll just read you a small description of it. It says, Chris Pine stars in this intense, gripping thriller about a deadly threat beyond anyone's worst nightmare. Determined to escape a lethal virus, 4 teens set out in search of an uncontaminated refuge, only to discover that they are far more dangerous to each other than the virus they are trying to survive. Carriers of the pulse-pounding journey into the world where laws and rules no longer apply and no one can be trusted, not even your friends. So yeah, this is more of a viral movie for the teen set. And I watched it. I actually enjoyed it. I think it only runs, it runs for about 84 minutes. It was made in 2009. So it's not really long, but at the same time, you really get the gist of what the story is about. So, again, this is another one you want to check out. This is one of my favorites right here. And I know my sister actually loves this movie, and I actually enjoyed it myself. Resident Evil, starring Mila Jovovich and Michelle Rodriguez. And Alice, who is the main heroine of the story, they have to deal with a viral outbreak which causes people to turn into the undead. Flesh-eating undead zombies. You get all sorts of action and shooting and stuff at the same time. And while you deal with zombies, there's sort of a virus thing, but you have to deal with zombies as well. But yeah, Resident Evil is one of the better ones out there, and certainly one that you can enjoy and get a little bit of action too in with your somewhat depressing storyline, but at the same time it's really good. And I would definitely recommend seeing Resident Evil. Finally, Antisocial. This is one of those rare obscure titles I actually picked up. It goes on. It says, this is no ordinary virus. And in this one, you have 5 university friends that are gathering for a party at their house just to ring in a new year. And then an epidemic has erupted outside, causing virulent outbreaks around the world. So again, you deal with more of your outbreaks of the virus while these kids are off partying. Why? I don't know. It's one I might have to check out because I actually haven't seen this one yet. But I thought that with all the other viral movies, I just saw it on my shelf, so I thought I'd just do a little quick anecdote on it. So you got the little bit of the idea of the story about these kids and then having to deal with the viral outbreak with probably the same usual results and the mass hysteria that it has. But in the meantime, that was my look at movies that dealt with viral outbreaks and viruses. So remember to like and subscribe to the channel and leave your little comments in the bottom, which I always like to hear. I'm actually entertained by some of the comments, and for those who actually like it, I thank you very much for liking the page and to continue to like the page, and give my sister Linda May a little bit of a thank you as well for all the work she does putting in with this camera to get the shots here. But for now, this is Paul Westbrook, your host, bidding you adieu for now, and reminding you that I'll be seeing you at the movies.